this is not a North America problem. And I really resent that when people kind of use that as an excuse. Well, this is a North America problem, so Germany don't have nothing to do with it. At the end of the day, we are a German brand, and if they're not on board, no one else will be on board.
Understanding that every account for discrimination and racial injustice within corporate structure is a very personal and personal experience. And now that people are sharing those individually, if the brand's not paying attention, it shows the lack of heart, it shows a lack of honor, almost to the point where you're not even listening to the people who are out in the battlefield for you.
When we think of what we seek to get from Black communities, influencers, endorsements, net sales, it would be wrong, in my estimation, to not give back when you in turn get.
I think it's also important as we look to build up that employee base, employee pipeline. Young employees need to see people who look like them in leaderships of power or decision making.
I think for so long, a lot of our focus is around what we call the urban consumer, which is also a synonym for Black. We talk about, winning with them. We talk about earning their trust. We talk about telling their stories. And behind the scenes, it's not those same individuals from that community that are driving the decision making, that are, being the voice at the table, that even have a seat at the table.
Me being from design, I see it everywhere in our inspiration boards, in our campaigns. We are inspired by this community, but I've been 11 years in the brand and I just don't see people like me in the table having the voices and telling the authentic stories. So if we want to continue, we keep saying we want to authenticate, we want to tell true stories, then have those people that have lived and know the culture the best.
If you talk to anyone in sports and entertainment and any business, it's around relationships. So when you speak to young athletes or entertainers, they need to feel comfortable. There's multiple times where, and multiple examples where employees would tell you, they've been just brought into a situation when they're recruiting an athlete or they're courting an athlete that they need a Black face to come in to relate to that athlete, to show that the brand actually can help support them or make them feel a little bit more at ease. That's a problem.
I get pulled into a lot of things to make us look diverse, to make us look inclusive. And when it's time to really be diverse and inclusive in our decision making and in things that matter, like influence on what this brand is doing, I don't get that same invite. A lot of people that look like me don't get that same invite.
Okay, we move the culture. We are the culture, but you don't want to promote us and give us a voice. We are the direct line to the culture, and you don't want to even use our information. Now that blows my mind.
You sit and you watch people who insult and degrade your community, the community that this brand makes money off of, and then you see those same people get promoted and continue to matriculate in the system into positions of power. And we get plucked for our insight, we get plucked for our talents, etc. And then it's like, thank you, we'll make the decisions on your behalf.
Now more than ever, it's infinitely important to invest in your Blank employees to ensure that the people in rooms where decisions are being made reflect the people that are being marketed and sold to. Key words being decisions that are being made. This means investing in leadership roles and seats on your boards.
We want people to know that our lives mean as much as yours. And when it comes to our company, our voice in Adidas should mean as much as everyone else's voice in Adidas. And right now, our voice is like this, and we want our voice to be on an equal platform with everyone else's. And that's all we ask. We don't want more. We want equality, and that's just it.
I've had a white coworker, use the N-word in my presence, and that speaks to the level of ignorance that's going on, and I have to sit with that. I'm riding in a car and this word is said in my presence and I don't understand why, you know, and it comes from ignorance. And that's an exact reason why racial injustice has to be fought for.
You know, we've all seen it, felt it, heard it from the white counterparts, the same ones who stand as allies and send the great text messages and support and etc. And what are you doing in those all white rooms when you're talking about black bodies? That's the allyship I want to see. Because I walk around with a plastic bottle and drink water out of a plastic bottle, and people come up to me, oh, that's not sustainable. How dare you? You know, you can't do that. This is not sustainable. We have to get you a tin bottle, or, you know, this and that. And it's just like, but you just came out of a room full of 30 white people, 20 white people. And all of your slides had black faces on them. What did you say to them? You're asking me about my water bottle. What did you say to them? What are you saying when you get candidates for positions and there's no black candidates in there? What are you saying to that recruiter? What are you saying about the recruiting team looking just as white as the boardroom, looking just as white as the board, but yet your market's black and brown?
And I tell the people I work with, I said, imagine walking into a room, and you're Caucasian, imagine walking into a room with 100 people in the room and 96 of them were black and there were 4 of you. I said, would you feel comfortable? And they go, to be honest with you, I wouldn't. I go, that's our reality every day. And people don't see it and they don't understand it. It's not that we don't love our coworkers. It's not that we don't care about our coworkers, but we're looking at this holistically as we sell to the African-American community. We use the African-American community to sell product, and we say, you're great to be in our ads, but you're not good enough to work for us. That's how sometimes we feel.
Not trying to shut us up about why we're angry, but acknowledging the fact that you've been making us angry and you've been a part of the problem.
Accountability hasn't even actually been present, so I think talking is not accountability. Follow through is more accountable. You know, having actions to show for your words goes so much further. And until then, you start to really look foolish.
Our community is fighting for racial justice and change. Will you support us? It's important to, because if not, you will be called out and will pay the consequence of losing that audience and also all the other audiences that support us.
What you see right here is an anomaly at this brand. This is an all Black female team that really is the core of the team within Statement. And you know what we were able to do this year for the brand, what we were able to do for the industry is record-breaking within itself. And I think that it's time that the world know that behind the scenes, what you had was an all-Black female team. And when I tell you that it doesn't exist at the brand, and it probably doesn't even exist in the industry, what you see right here is magical. What you see right here is real. And what we were able to do was magical, and it was real. So it just speaks to the importance of representation. It speaks to the importance of having us in the room, and the authenticity of the 3 voices that you see here.